Welcome to Aussie Visa and Pension Plus. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about some big changes coming to Australia's visa system in 2025. If you're planning to study or work in Australia, or you know someone who is, you'll want to hear this. The Australian government has announced two major updates, a cap on student visas and the introduction of a new skills-in-demand visa. These changes are part of a broader plan to manage migration and make sure Australia is bringing in people with the skills it really needs. First up is the student visa cap. For the first time ever, the Australian government will set limits on how many international students can enter each year. This cap will apply to universities, colleges, and other education providers across the country. The goal is to stop people from using student visas as an easy pathway to permanent residency and to control the impact of migration on housing and local communities. What this means for students is simple: getting a student visa might become more competitive, and universities might start being more selective about who they accept. This could also affect the cost of courses and the number of spots available. Now let's talk about the new skills-in-demand visa. This will replace the current temporary skills shortage visa. The government says the new visa will be simpler, faster, and, you said, 800 words. Chach said, shed. Sure, here is a natural 800-word YouTube script based on your topic, no uppercase, no headings, no breaks. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some really big news coming out of Australia that's going to affect thousands of people looking to study or work there from 2025 onwards. If you've been thinking about applying for an Australian student visa or skilled work visa, this is something you'll definitely want to know. The Australian government has just announced a shake-up in its migration system, introducing a cap on student visas and launching a brand new skills-in-demand visa. Both of these changes are aimed at reshaping how Australia manages its migration program and how it selects international talent in the coming years. Let's start with the student visa cap. For the first time, Australia will be putting an official limit on the number of international students allowed into the country each year. This cap will be set by the federal government and will apply to universities, colleges, and other education providers nationwide. The idea behind this move is to make sure the student visa system isn't being used as an easy backdoor to permanent residency. The government wants to protect the quality of Australia's education sector and also ease some of the pressure on housing, infrastructure, and local communities that comes from high migration numbers. So what does this really mean for international students? It means applying for a student visa may become more competitive. Universities and colleges could start being more selective in who they accept, knowing they have a limited number of spots to offer. This could push some students to apply earlier or focus more on meeting strict entry criteria. It might also mean that some education providers will be forced to raise their standards or offer better support services if they want to attract top students. For students who are already in Australia or planning to apply soon, this is a big reminder to make sure your application is strong, complete, and meets all the new requirements. Now moving on to the other big change, the skills-in-demand visa. This new visa will replace the current temporary skills shortage visa. The government says the new system will be designed to better target genuine skill shortages in Australia's job market. Instead of a broad list of occupations, the new visa will focus on jobs that are critically needed, based on real-time labour market data. This means only occupations that are in actual demand will be eligible, making the process more focused and hopefully quicker for applicants. The skills-in-demand visa will have several key features. First, it is expected to offer faster processing times compared to the old system. Second, it will provide a clearer pathway to permanent residency for those working in approved occupations. Third, the visa will come with stricter compliance checks to make sure employers are not misusing the program. This could make it easier for skilled migrants to find work with trusted employers and avoid exploitation, which has been a concern in the past with temporary work visas. For skilled workers around the world, this change could be both a challenge and an opportunity. On one hand, the system will be more selective, which means not every occupation will make the cut. On the other hand, if your skills are genuinely in demand, you may find the new system more straightforward and supportive of your career goals. The government hopes this approach will attract high-quality talent and fill real gaps in the Australian workforce, especially in areas like healthcare, construction, engineering, and technology. So why is Australia making these changes now? The main reason is to bring migration numbers under better control and to make sure the system is working for both Australia and migrants. Over the last few years, there has been a growing concern about the rising number of temporary visa holders, especially students and short-term workers, who often stay longer than planned or move into other visa categories. This has led to increased pressure on housing, healthcare, transport, and other public services. By introducing stricter controls and focusing on genuine needs, the government hopes to create a more sustainable migration system that benefits everyone. If you're planning to apply for a student visa, now is the time to start preparing seriously. Make sure you understand the new rules. Check with your education provider about the available spots under the new cap and work on strengthening your application. If you're looking at the skills in demand visa, keep an eye on the updated occupation lists and get your qualifications assessed early. Knowing where you stand in the Australian job market will give you a much better chance of success when the new system comes into effect. This visa shake-up is one of the biggest changes we've seen in recent years, and it's clear the Australian government wants to balance migration with the country's long-term needs. Whether you're a student, a skilled worker, or an employer, these changes will have a direct impact on how you plan your next move. It's more important than ever to stay informed, stay prepared, and make smart choices based on the latest information. If you want to keep getting updates on Australian visas, immigration news, and migration tips, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.